Yeah, so I do give them practice, but I love teaching phrases. I really do. I want my students to know texts by heart. I want them to be able to speak from their memory. And the things that they have learned must give them the experience of speaking at a level which is impossible for them to speak at now. So like if you want to speak freely, if you want to fly in your speech in like 2 years' time, there is no reason why you can't do it now here. So only within this one text that you have learned by heart. So it's perfection, it's ideal of being able to speak without thinking, without reading any words in your mind or somewhere on the ceiling. So this is the ideal. Guys, you come, and you're free, you just speak. And I want them to be able to do that because it gives them this little bit of speaking experience. And this is the way people learn to play the piano, for example, by the way. Yeah, so they learn to play only one piece, then another piece, then another piece. I cannot play the piano, but I can play this piece, and then this, then this, then this, and when I have like 100, I understand, oh my god, now I can play the piano. So I do the same with texts. Try to reach the perfection within every text. That's why, and I tell them, guys, real perfect knowledge is the knowledge of the sound. It's the knowledge when you can sing the things that you want to say. So they come up. You don't look for them, they just come up. You have an idea, and like your brain has an idea. Your brain shouldn't be involved in speaking, in producing the language. It should just give the idea to the slave, and the slave is the body. And the body should just do all the work. All the information of the language should be recorded in your body, in your subconsciousness. If it's not there, you cannot speak any language well. It's impossible. If you're thinking about what you're saying, how you're saying it, you're not speaking well. So I say you should have the knowledge of the body, not the language of the mind. Because it's really easy to forget the knowledge of the mind. When you have it here, and next thing you know, it's not there. You've forgotten it. But once this knowledge is in the body, it's written, recorded on your hard drive of the body, you will know it for years, forever. When it's subconscious knowledge. I also call it the knowledge of the sound. Like, again, when you're singing, just these words just come to you, don't try to remember them. So that's why when I set this standard, I always do the following things. I read this wonderful poem by a little girl who just danced with a little boy back in the 50s, and she just produced these sounds as if they were words from her imagination, I believe. And this wonderful guy called Kharkov, who was writing the book at Book de Petit. So he just analyzing children's language. He recorded, I believe, this wonderful poem, and he put it in the book that I, like 30, 40 years later, that I read. And I just loved this verse, this poem, and learned it by heart. And I always give it to my students. I say I may do it with mistakes, but it goes something like "Куси меня, куси кой, леве кой, куси баба куси кой, куси паги куси кой, я куку шибка кой, леве куся шибка кой, куся шибка кой." It means nothing. I know it. I learned it. It's not because I have good memory. Well, I mean I do, but still, it's sound. It's the sound in me. 20-something years later, I still remember it. It's forever. It's never going to leave me. I know so many other things. They are here, anytime. And I always do the rap for my students to know what I want. Yes, from them. When they do texts, I always rap, and I say, guys, look into my eyes. Look into my eyes. Just follow me. Yes. So, and it goes it goes like this. And it's the knowledge of the body, it's the knowledge of the sound. So yeah, I'm going to speak with those guys. So it is possible to learn to do this. Anyone can do that. It takes a lot of practice, and just make sure it's in the body. His palms are sweaty, knees weak, I'm not reading. His palms are sweaty, knees weak, arms are heavy. There's vomit out a sweater already. Mom's spaghetti, his nerves. But on the surface he looks calm and ready to drop bombs. But he keeps on forgetting. When you roll down, the whole crowd goes so loud. He opens his mouth, but the words won't come out. He's choking now, everybody's choking now. The clock's run out, time's up, over blow. Snap back to reality, oh, there goes gravity, oh. I forgot. Yeah, so, yeah, I know it because it's in the body. It's just, my body is talking. It doesn't find it difficult to do that. So I also know other things. Oh, of course, as I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I take a look at my life and realize there's nothing like a zombie and blasting you laughing so long that if my mama thinks the mind, and my students can do that, of course not. But still, I say, guys, try to make it perfect. And when we have learned text by heart, when we know it very well, or at least to a level, we have taken it to the level that is real for them, which is a compromise that I have to make, I say, guys, look, in this text we have this phrase, that phrase, this phrase, let's learn those phrases. Let's just, because they're good, and you can use them in your speech without translating, no matter what you want to say in Russian, if it was Russian, no matter how you would say it in Russian. This is a wonderful English phrase. Just try to think in English, focus on English, and use what you have learned in English without using this Russian translation. So I also encourage my students to stop translating because I understand it's not the ideal to translate Russian translation English. No, it's wrong. Stop it. Learn ready-made phrases, set expressions, learn them by heart. And when we drill the phrases, we drill them like I take a phrase. And I change one word in the phrase, and I drill this phrase as it is. Like, accidents were a common occurrence in that time. Murders were a common occurrence in that time. Robberies were a common occurrence in that time. And the phrase, were a common occurrence, is a set phrase for me. Well, I'm gonna, again, elaborate on that later. But text, learning the text by heart, then drilling and learning the phrases in different contexts by heart, and then, well, roughly like, let's discuss things and let's just express our own ideas using the phrases we have learned. This is something I do all the time at like pre-intermediate, intermediate level, all the time. I teach grammar, I explain, but they don't need it as much as they need texts, phrases, and communication. So I do a lot of it. A lot of it, I like just to ask a question with the key phrase in the question. What are you good at? Yeah? And I say, please say, I am good at doing. And things like that. So it's pretty primitive, it's pretty simple. But my students like it. We've been doing it for a long, long time. And of course, if you want to make it effective, the key thing is take little, practice it a lot with revision, and you have a good chance of making it perfect, of making sure that they have it in their speech, that you take this phrase from the text and they start speaking using it. There's a very high chance if you take very little, practice it a lot. But I don't always do that, also because I understand that language, or what we are learning, this learning material, is fuel. It's fuel. It's supposed to take me higher, but it's supposed to be burned. It's okay if students forget the things they've learned. It's alright. Level is not how much information you have. It's how easy for you to deal with that information. This is what knowledge is. Like when you graduate from university, you have forgotten lots of things you learned. Lots. But still you feel like, okay, you're a better specialist now than you used to be, for sure. But you have forgotten everything, but still your level is higher. You know where to look. First thing, yeah, to find that information. And you can process this information. So if you hear it, it'll be easier for you to understand it, to compare it, to work with it, with this information, because you've heard it before, you have this experience. So level is just how fast you can work with one item, with one phrase, or how many items, how many phrases, whatever, you can say, words you can say within 1 second, within 2 seconds. So it's this, your fitness. your fitness. So the knowledge can come and go, it's okay. Some of it will stay, but it's like food, it's like fuel. I should just become healthier, stronger, and this is how I grow, this is how I become a better teacher, or oh my God, a better student of English. And I try to do both. Grammar, phrases, learning by heart, perfection, communicative practice, just discussions and things like that. It's not everything, there are other things I want to share with you, I will, next time. So I'll try to be more specific, but again, I don't promise that. I really love to generalize and give principles and laws for you to work out just how to apply those for yourselves. But I think that's all from me for today. Thank you very much. See you next time. Bye-bye.